Hi everybody, it's Adrienne here. So this is Gustoefore the Giant and this is how he was made. I started by flattening out my subject's eyebrows. This was done by using Prosthetic. It also protects the eyebrows. I now place a ball cap on his head, pulling down firmly. Luckily my subject does not have a lot of hair. If the subject had a lot of hair, you need to flatten it, maybe hairspray it into position. I am now gluing it into position. Actually, the mistake I made here was I definitely should have covered his locks with the ball cap, because as you'll see in the tutorial, it does become an issue. I then trimmed the ball cap very carefully. As you know, they split easily, and I proceed to hold it in position with some spirit gum. I get my subject to hold it in position as it takes quite a while to dry, and I apply latex to the ball cap. After this, I use single ply tissue and push it onto the latex. Yeah, messy job, guys. Keep a towel at hand, keep your hands clean. Everything you touch is going to be sticky. I do tend to use my hands a lot. I just prefer it that way. The brush that I'm using here isn't a makeup artistry brush. It is a paintbrush that, I don't know, I found around the house. It came in a set, but it was its size that I thought would be ideal for applying the latex. So a couple of layers of tissue and latex. You can never use enough latex. It's expensive, but it's worth it. If you skimp with the latex, when it dries out, you'll have white patches. Tear off the excess. Now, just for a smooth transition from ball cap to skin, I have used masking tape. And push it into position. And I will go over the top of that with some more latex. And I continued then with latex and tissue around the face. The bulk of this whole look, guys, was drying time. Drying time was a real bummer, as it definitely takes longer than a half an hour to dry. So I continued to work with the latex around his chin and up the other side. Now pull away the excess and put it back on, waste not, want not. Use all the tissue. This is the inside of a toilet roll. The edges are clipped and I'm going to place it on his head. Basically, the reason why I did this is, number one, I had a look in my head, but number two, I didn't want symmetry and I wanted people to look at the giant and wonder where was his head inside of this, and I think this really does help to create that illusion. I've secured it with spirit gum and now I'm doubly securing it with some more masking tape, and I will go over that again now with cotton pads and latex. I will also cover the stem with cotton pads and latex. When this was done, the drying time was definitely a half an hour to 45 minutes. I think we broke for lunch at this stage. It's just easier to work with it if it's dry, you know. It really should be dry before you start painting it. Anyway, I'm lashing on the latex again here, as you can see. The stem is now covered with cotton. I don't know why he's moving his mouth like that. I guess it's drying and his face is getting stiffer and stiffer. Here we go again. Go on, do it again. Okay, so we're back from lunch and it's dry. You can see now it's that kind of got a yellowy colour. Yeah, the Tin Man comes to mind. I am now painting it. I'm using aqua-based face paints, which I just like. That's just water in the green bottle there. Not a big fan of oil paints. I just think you touch them and they move. They're just not durable. So I'm now covering his eye. I find covering an eye with a cotton pad more favourable, as the client can blink and wink underneath the cotton pad. If you pack that eye with cotton balls, they can't blink underneath it and they become just aggravated and frustrated. So I'm holding it in position with masking tape and I'm applying, as you can see, latex yet again over the tape. Just takes away the join marks of the tape. It works really well. So now that's that done. So I am now separating the latex and cotton from the skin. Hold firmly the skin in position and then pull away with the other hand. See, I'm pulling away freely there now when my hand has gone in, because it can be painful. So now your prosthetic, and I have a picture story of how this was made on my Facebook page. So this is why this look had to be pre-planned. You just couldn't throw this together in a couple of hours. I always find my best looks are pre-planned to some extent. A lot of the time when I sit down to do a look, I don't know what's going to be the end result, and I think that's just normal with artists. But in a look that's as detailed and as expensive as this one, the pre-planning is definitely important. This look, I think, cost me about €50 between all the bits and pieces, and I won't even go there in relation to man hours, because the prosthetics took time. So now I choose this method of holding a large prosthetic in position because I just don't think spirit gum cuts it. Now the top piece is slightly too big. I'm going to have to trim that. I am colouring in around the mouth with black paint. This is because it's a working mouth, and by painting black inside, because you will see inside, will create an illusion of depth. I'm measuring that top mouthpiece again. Yeah, no, it does need to be trimmed. It can be hard to trim these because they really do harden. What have I got there? Spirit gum. So I am using spirit gum on the prosthetic to hold it in position. And I will smooth out the transition from prosthetic to face using cotton and latex. Oh, and a little bit of masking tape. I'm cutting over that. What am I doing now? Oh, I'm working with wax. So yeah, I'm going to make the gashes on Gustoefore's head. These are smoothed into position using Vaseline. A lot of people use moisturizer. It ain't a patch on Vaseline. The transition from wax to skin or face with Vaseline is perfect. It is so smooth. Much easier to work with. He's checking out the movement there in his mouth. Okay, so yeah, they're rashers I have on his face. I just like the look of them. I think they look fleshy. And I am dabbing on, what am I dabbing on? Black paint? Sort of a grey paint. So now it's time to make the gashes in the wax, and I am using an orange stick to do this. If you just drag an orange stick through the wax is going to build and you're going to have breaks in the wound. So coat the stick with Vaseline and it will glide straight through. No build-up. Very little. More Vaseline and straight through the wax again. Perfect. Other side. See, it just glides straight through the wax. Now I have a red Shiseido lip pencil in my hand, which I am going to use for depth inside of the wounds. And I'm going to fill now with some wound filler. So just for a little bit of detailing now, I'm using normal regular foundation in and around the wounds, applying it with, what am I applying it with? The brush. Oh, so now I've gone for something bigger. I'm using a disposable sponge for the detailing. I'm now using a dark grey eyeshadow in and around his eye. And in my hand there, that's just water in the green bottle, I have cake blood, which I am pushing on with that crazy looking brush. Which, by the way, I had to bin because I couldn't get the latex out of it. I had more cake blood there. Now I've just got white face paint in my hand. I'm just detailing, I'm creating texture. And now I am pulling some of the cotton, oh no, it's the tissue and latex away from the skin, and here's the issue. It has caught to his sideburns and it's making him jump. This is just some liquid blood now I'm filling in, and I am separating again the tissue and latex from his nose. He's jumping again. I'm just applying some more blood, pulling away the skin. More liquid blood onto my brush. And just push. You see, there's no swiping movements, guys. It's pushing it. If you swipe, you're going to ruin all your work. I'm pushing the colour in. Now I am adding some blood to the teeth, which are made with artificial nails. I'm dressing my look. If you're a student of mine, you know the importance of this. I have a little visitor there, checking out the monster. I'm doing the hands now. I'm pushing more blood into his eye area. And obviously still doing the hands. Now I am filling the top of his spewed brain with cotton pads that are soaked in food colouring. Now, food colouring is a disaster to work with. It did stain my hands really badly. I should have worn gloves. More liquid blood with the final effects. I am going to put blood in the whites of his eye, but I am going to use a specialised product. It does slightly sting. I've used it numerous times, and the eye washes it through really fast. So you can see it there in the corner of his eye. You got to have your camera ready quick. And there he is, Gustoefore. Pretty rotten, isn't he? Ugh. Gustoefore the Giant. Hope you enjoyed it, guys. Hope you picked something up and learned something, and I hope to see you all soon. Bye.